Okay, drawing Pokemon from memory, specifically the first 151 or Kanto Pokemon. This is an art piece I've been wanting to do for many, many years now. I'm, of course, a big fan of Pokemon, and I like drawing, so I've always wanted to draw them specifically from memory. I originally got this idea from another YouTuber and artist, Kasey Golden, when she did it back in about 2017 or so. It inspired me to do it myself, but I never actually got around to it or had the skills or had the confidence to properly try it until now. I did this artwork because I wanted to shake up my work a little bit. I haven't done much personal drawing or fan art or anything outside of video related art for a little while now since I've been focusing on videos. So I wanted to just do a little video about art, making art, and why it's good to do different things to avoid burnout and everything. When you're doing stuff like making videos and just doing that constantly, you can very quickly get burnt out on drawing the same thing, such as just drawing my character, my persona. And when you're doing something like this from memory, you get to test yourself on your knowledge of a certain series if you're a fan. You get to kind of design characters because you're tweaking them a bit, you're doing them from memory, you get to stylize it, and condensing them into a small space. I think that's a really fun little idea, and I've always wanted to do it, and now I finally have. So, how did I do? Honestly, not to toot my own horn, but I think I did a pretty good job, all things considered. I have a pretty good memory, and I've consumed and played a lot of Pokemon. I didn't use any references or anything for this one. I just went off the top of my head, but I do see Pokemon art pretty much every day just on social media and Pokemon related media. I haven't played the games in about a month, but I just see it constantly, so I'm always aware of what it's like. This art piece took me about 2 days of work. It was probably all up about 8 to 10 hours, maybe 12 hours of work drawing it. I did it digitally in Clip Studio Paint. It took a little bit to figure out the grid layout I wanted to do it on. I drew it on an A3 size canvas because I did want it printed, as you can see from some of the clips here. I sketched it on the first day, did the line art and colored it on the second day. I'm really happy with how it turned out. It was fun to stylize all the different Pokemon. There are some notable Pokemon in here, I would probably say. Ones that I think I nailed, ones I just like in the drawing, and ones I think probably didn't do too good or are a little bit cursed. Looking at you, Wigglytuff, with those big creepy eyes. I tried to make them look different in size, give them fun personality, expressions, and poses, and I think I did a pretty good job at that. But some of them are really detailed, really complex, which can be hard to fit into a small space, such as Machamp with his four arms. How do you fit that in? Or some of them are just basic animals, where it's kind of hard to stylize that, or they're a big animal, it's hard to fit that in. An example of both of those things I mentioned was Rapidash. It's just kind of a unicorn that's on fire, so I struggled to figure out what to do with a pose for that one. The hardest thing, of course, is, well, at least for me, was getting accurate colors and patterns. And that can be the toughest thing, because so many Gen 1 Pokemon share a lot of cohesive traits and features. So that can be difficult to remember who has what, like who has a white belly, who has separate white claws opposed to fleshy colored claws, who has spikes, who has horns. A lot of Pokemon in this era just resembled Kaiju and Akira Toriyama monster designs. And it was fun and a bit difficult to give them all their own shine and focus and space and personality. It was a really good challenge. That's another reason why I did it. I wanted to challenge myself. The easy ones for me were like the starters, because I've drawn them many times, and my favorite Pokemon, because I've drawn them lots as well. Some Pokemon I haven't even drawn once before, such as Kabutops, so that was a struggle to figure out how to do him, but I think I was pretty happy in the end. And other humanoid ones, which can be kind of tricky to stylize in a collection of weird monsters, like Machoke or the Hitmons. They can be pretty strange, but I think I also did a fairly good job. Some mistakes would be Wigglytuff just being, of course, weird. Ninetales is really goofy because it was hard to fit such a detailed design with the Ninetales, and I kind of screw up the proportions. It's just silly looking. Some of them do just look silly to their benefit, I would admit. I like how Clefairy just has this expressionless, mindless look on it. My favorites would probably be Seal, Lickitung, the Hitmon, because I did a fun composition with them, Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan, and Farfetch, because He is my personal favorite in Gen 1. And Bellsprout. It was fun to do little stick limbs for some of them, because it would fit them into the space, like with Mr. Mime. I was impressed with how I did Rhyhorn. I'm surprised I just knocked that one out of memory. It's pretty accurate from the looks of it to me. Goldeen and Seaking I kind of massacred. No one really thinks about those Pokemon much, so unfortunately they didn't get a ton of love here, or I just kind of messed them up a little bit. And Gyarados was hard to fit in with that, so he's got a really densely detailed face and a very simple body. The biggest mistake I made, though, was I screwed up the order of Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. I put Moltres in the middle, which is very silly of me because their order is literally in their name. Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. Uno, dos, tres. But I screwed that up somehow, even though I had it written out in a list. But that's what happens when you draw things from memory. There's going to be flaws, and that's what adds a uniqueness to it, and it makes it fun to look back on and compare it to the actual official Pokemon. Another one I liked was Raichu, because I had a personal bias of thinking Raichu was really big as a kid, so I made him big and fat, because I like fat Pikachu from the early era of Pokemon. I think he's fun. Nidoking, I was impressed I got of all the spikes and stuff. He's pretty accurate, in my opinion. But yes, would I do this for future generations? I'd certainly like to. I won't do it straight away, and I'm not sure if I would print them like I would for this one, or how well I would do. I'd assume I could probably do Gen 2 about as accurately as Gen 1, but if I was going into the later gens, it would be more difficult just because there's a lot of Pokemon I haven't even drawn from that era. But because I did also do this over the course of a weekend, just 2 days, my hand was incredibly sore afterwards, so that was a struggle. I find when creating art, I'm never really aware of my own art style, and that is especially the case with fan art. I worry it doesn't look unique enough, but when you're doing something from memory, that forces you to be original and to deviate from the original designs and everything. So you get a real taste of what your art style has, what features stand out and everything. But yes, let me know which ones were your favorite here in the comments below. If you'd like to see me do this in the future, I am interested in doing more art-related videos and everything. If people are interested, I might even draw Pokemon again in the future or different series for fun. Who knows? Might even bring friends on. And I think if you are interested in drawing the Pokemon from memory, certainly give it a go. It was a lot of fun, and I'd encourage anybody to do it. So, to answer the question presented in the title of this video, yes, I think I can draw the original 151 Pokemon from memory. Or at least without too much failure.